Sam?
When I see that he's going to create a church on Twitter, which the gates of Hades shall not prevail against, I think I should
that doesn't help, because I've asked you why do you believe what the New Testament says, and you've used the New Testament.
Sorry?
I'm asking you for your validation. Why do you believe when you read the New Testament, you're reading history?
Because the church will give it compiled.
Sorry?
Because the church compiled the New Testament.
The witness of the church.
Yeah, through the bishops.
So when you read the Gospels, you believe you're reading history.
I guess you could say so also.
Why? Okay.
We take it as a historical document.
Eyewitness accounts, eyewitness from the authors. He disagrees.
Sorry?
He disagrees.
I disagree.
Or you believe there are eyewitnesses? Matthew, Mark, Luke and John.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Matthew was a follower. Mark was a secretary of Peter.
Was Mark an eyewitness?
Mark wasn't, but Matthew
Mark
was.
wasn't an eyewitness.
Luke went round and interviewed
Was Luke an eyewitness?
And John was an eyewitness.
Was Luke an eyewitness?
He interviewed eyewitnesses. He wasn't an eyewitness himself.
Was Luke an eyewitness?
He wasn't an eyewitness
All
himself.
right. So I was correct. You disagree. Okay.
I
Luke.
disagree.
Okay.
He had eyewitness Matthew.
Oh, okay.
Matthew
I'll
and
explain
John,
to you.
Matthew and John are eyewitnesses.
I'll explain it to you.
Luke and Mark. Mark is a secretary of Peter.
I'll explain to you.
An eyewitness.
I'll explain to you.
And Luke went round and
I'll explain to you why I was right about you saying they were wrong. They believe Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were all eyewitnesses. And I said, you'll disagree with them. And you disagree with them again.
Right, so they give eyewitness accounts, but they wasn't. Mark and Luke were not eyewitnesses themselves. They give eyewitness accounts from eyewitnesses, but they wasn't eyewitnesses themselves.
So they weren't.
Matthew and John were eyewitnesses.
So Mark wasn't an eyewitness. Yeah? This is definitive. Mark wasn't an eyewitness. Luke wasn't an eyewitness. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to argue Matthew wasn't.
Hang on, let me take that back a minute, because Mark was Peter's secretary.
Why do you believe that?
So he could have been, because Peter tells us, my beloved son Mark to you.
Where does Peter say?
In his letter, he tells it.
Where does Peter say Mark is writing on my behalf?
Mark is Peter's secretary.
No.
We know from church history.
Where does it say that? Where does you just quoted Peter saying it?
Peter says, I'm telling you.
Where
Mark,
does Peter say
my
this?
son, at the end of his letter.
No. Where does Peter say Mark's gospel is what I'm saying? Where's Peter say this?
But he doesn't say that.
He doesn't say that. All right. So I'll go back to my original question. Why do you believe Mark was a scribe of Peter?
Because we know that Mark was with Peter. We know that Mark wrote down lots of stuff, because the other church fathers tell us that Mark wrote down.
What did Peter say about Mark's gospel? Did he encourage the reading of it?
But the Gospels weren't compiled in their current form while the apostles were still around.
Sorry?
Only John's was
Sorry?
written by him.
Say that again.
So the Gospels, the canon of the Bible wasn't finished when the apostles were around.
So you're saying when Peter was around, there was no Gospel of Mark?
There wasn't a book that you could give to Peter.
Oh, okay.
So Peter were writing that Mark done.
So what's Clement of Alexandria talking about when he refers to the Gospel of Mark and Peter?
The Gospel that Mark had
Where Clement of Alexandria says Peter neither neither encouraged or discouraged the reading of the Gospel of Mark. Why would Clement of Alexandria say that?
Where does it say that? I'm not familiar with it. He might say that, but I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. Let me. See, here's the thing. I don't do people's homework for them. I like them to reveal this themselves. Right. So my question to you is this: would you agree with me if Clement of Alexandria is saying that means Mark's gospel was around at the time of Peter?
It was around-ish. So Mark was writing things.
Was Peter aware of the Gospel of Mark? Is my question.
So he would have been aware that his secretary was writing things for him. Whether he recognised it as that gospel.
Right.
The gospel
So he didn't rubber stamp it then.
Well, he would have known what Mark was writing about him, so he would have been telling Mark all the things that happened.
Why is there no mention of resurrection in the Gospel of Mark?
There is in the final chapters.
You don't believe them?
I do believe them.
Or you believe the final?
Yes. Just because some of the early ones they didn't have it doesn't mean it didn't exist. Why would all the other Gospels have it?
So you follow the minority opinion that the ending of Mark, drinking poison and all that, was true?
So I believe that's all true. Yeah. Because all the other Gospels agree.
So all the biblical scholars that say this is a forgery, you disagree with?
Who says it's a forgery?
All of them.
Forgery?
Ending of Mark? There is no ending of Mark.
Who says it's a forgery?
Which Bible do you read? Which Bible you got in your pocket?
I've got the English Standard, King James.
Read Mark 16. Oh, you got them on your phone.
Hang on, got security. It's that thing that was going off, isn't it? But Mark is there in all the other Gospels as well.
No. According to the majority of biblical scholars,
I don't care what biblical scholars
I know you don't.
say.
I know you don't. You don't care. Okay, you don't care about people who spent their life studying the text. Fine.
Most biblical scholars you've got
All right. So
nowadays are
okay.
not Christians,
Okay.
they're coming from
What do you base your research on?
on the historical church fathers and what they said.
And the biblical scholars don't do that.
The biblical scholars have got their own.
So they don't use the church father citations and such.
To a certain extent, they do. Yeah.
Do they or don't
Not
they?
everything. No, they
All right.
they believe.
So let me just understand
they
one
believe
thing.
They are more important than the church fathers. They think they have better.
But you think you're more important than?
No, I think the church
Biblical
fathers.
scholars.
No, I think the church fathers are more important.
But we just said the church fathers. Sorry, we just said the biblical scholars do use the church fathers.
They do use them, but they think they're more important. They think their methodology now can overrule what people knew in the first century. They think that what they've done in the 20th century through.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
Because they've gone through methodology.
Well, not necessarily, because they've realised that you don't have the originals of what you have. Yeah, they've realised as you discover more
They don't have the originals.
you don't have the originals.
The early church fathers had the originals.
No, but the point we have is this: we can see after the discovery of new manuscripts that it contradicts the previous book. So, for example, the KJV needed a revision after the discovery of the Codex Sinaiticus, because they highlighted all the additions and such that was found that were not found in the oldest manuscripts. Now, you yourself as a non-biblical scholar can turn around and say to me, well, I don't care. But biblical scholars, when they look at the antiquity and they look at the oldest manuscripts, and they know that the manuscripts are copied from manuscripts, if you have a manuscript containing something that's not found in the original, that's a
How do
forgery.
you know it's not in the original? Where is the original?
In the oldest.
No, you said original. So now
By
you said
original,
oldest.
oh, okay, let me
So what
rephrase
they
that.
do-
By the oldest manuscript.
Yeah, so what they do, the way the biblical scholars work, they have two methods. They have the majority text, which is where they look at all the manuscripts and say, well, the majority say this, and they go with the majority text. Then you have the critical text, which looks at all the manuscripts and say, well, yeah, the majority say this, but these ones are older and these ones have got more weight because they're more
Look, you can have 20,000.
So there's different ways.
You
of
can
looking
have
at
20,000 manuscripts with 1 John 5:7 in them, and everyone thinks, oh, this is reliable because all these manuscripts say it. But if the manuscripts prior to it that it's copied from didn't have 1 John 5:7 in it, then it doesn't matter about them 20,000.
But if others have attested to it through their letters and writings,
Who's attested to it?
that's what we said to church fathers. That you just said that the scholars.
Oh, okay, you keep talking. All right. So you keep talking.
It's not simple just picking
Okay.
up a script and saying, right,
Yeah.
give me that script. Those scripts were letters.
Why do you believe what the church fathers say?
Because it all goes together.
No, why do you believe what they say?
Because it all comes together as coherent. So when you take the whole lot together, it's coherent. When you take individual bits, you say, well, yeah, that bit might have come from somewhere else. But it's only when it's corroborated.
Why do you believe what
by
church
others.
fathers say are reliable? For example, when
The church fathers, they
when
walked with the
Papias
apostles.
when Papias in the 2nd century says that Matthew's the author of Matthew, why do you believe what Papias says? I'm just trying to understand. I'm not tearing things down here. I'm trying to understand.
Because the church fathers walked with the apostles. Okay? So they are straight away, they are disciples of the apostles.
Which ones?
Sorry?
Which church fathers?
All the early church fathers.
Which ones?
Polycarp. And,
Polycarp. Who was Polycarp a disciple of?
Polycarp was John, wasn't it?
Yeah. But there's a funny thing about Polycarp. He never quotes from the Gospel of John.
No, because John was encouraged to write his gospel at a late age by his followers because he became Bishop of Ephesus.
No, but
So he was
why
writing-
doesn't a disciple of somebody quote them?
He would have quoted John because he would have been learning from John. So you might not be able
More
to
homework.
find,
More homework.
You may not be able to find an exact quote that you can.
La.
But
La.
Polycarp and all the others would have been quoted directly from the.
La. You seem a nice and reasonable guy. More homework for you. Okay. Go
I
on.
love doing homework.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the homework for you now. Did Polycarp ever quote from the Gospel of John? And if he didn't,
Well, what's my criteria to prove that or disprove it? Because
well,
he
okay.
would
So
have
you look
said many
at
things
you would look at the
saying-
things Polycarp says, and he would reference it from John. Yes.
So you said I must find a reference from Polycarp that says John.
Okay. What's my claim? According to biblical scholars, not me, not Muslims, from Christian biblical scholars.
Not all Christian.
Well, biblical.
Lots of atheists,
Okay.
lots of
Okay.
Strange Christians.
Polycarp never quotes from the Gospel of John.
Right.
And this is why they question whether he was a disciple of John or not.
So what they're saying is, are they saying they cannot find a quote from the Gospel of John?
They're saying,
everything
why
Polycarp
should we?
says-
Okay, what they're saying is, why should we believe this man is a disciple of John when he never quotes from his gospel?
All the other church fathers also agree that Polycarp came from John, because there's a history. It's like your chains of narration.
It isn't.
The early church fathers had people who spoke to
isn't.
people who spoke to people who knew they was reliable, because they were all part of the early
I'll
church.
tell you how corrupt your church fathers are. Would you say Eusebius is a church father?
He comes a bit later. He writes the church history. Yeah.
All right. So you have Origen, yeah.
Origen was, he had his problems. They weren't the problems. The early church.
All right. So when Origen read the letters of Josephus, yeah, about Jesus and who he was, Origen complained as to why he's not saying he's the Messiah and he's more than a man. Why is he not saying he was resurrected? Why is Flavius Josephus, the historian, not saying these things? When Eusebius inherits the library of Origen, all of a sudden now Josephus's letter is saying that. Yeah, the things that Origen complained that the letter wasn't saying, when Eusebius got his hands on it, all of a sudden now it's saying it. It's saying he's more than a man.
So Josephus wrote lots of stuff. It doesn't mean that Origen had access to everything.
More homework for you. More homework for you.
You give me all these things that are going to be
No.
impossible to find.
No. Just go and just research it. Was it not called? I don't know if this controversy of Eusebius was about this thing, but the point I'm saying to you is this: when Origen complained about something about a letter from Josephus, that same letter included the things Origen complained about that weren't there. So my question would:
Who got the letter? Sorry,
Eusebius.
Eusebius got a letter from
Origen. And Origen had been complaining about things Josephus said that didn't include such certain things.
Yeah.
When that letter got into the hands of Eusebius,
So Origen hadn't found in Josephus' works
in the letter about this, yes,
that Eusebius did find.
no, that got added
Why did you say it got added? Where's your evidence it got added?
because it wasn't there.
How do you know it wasn't there?
Because Origen complained.
So he may complain he didn't find something. It's like me complaining.
But Eusebius inherited the library of Origen. He inherited the works of Origen.
The works of Origen.
Yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
Origen is the one complaining. So that's him complaining.
Right.
I haven't found in all these
Yeah,
works
yeah.
of Josephus.
Yeah.
I haven't found this
Him saying this
particular
thing.
So that's him as one man.
Oh, okay.
Him as
Biblical
one man
scholars,
didn't find it.
again, have identified that these additions are fabrications, are interpolations that have been added.
Well, they're not fabrications. No one's fabricated things.
They are.
People are given.
They're
accounts that
fabrications.
They've heard from the people before them.
No, they're
That's how
fabrications.
that's how it passes down.
No.
It's exactly the same.
No,
way.
don't shoot the messenger, dude.
Exactly the
Okay,
same
don't
way
shoot the
What
messenger.
you call a science of hadith.
Don't shoot the
the way
messenger,
it
dude.
passed down.
Don't shoot the messenger.
The church fathers passed down.
Just because you don't understand and know these things, when you know and understand these things, maybe it'll make you look at things differently.
Well, I know and understand enough to know that there's not.
You just
enough
stood here telling me
manuscripts.
biblical scholars are wrong, and the long ending of Mark is true.
The long end of the mark is there. It's attested by the early church fathers. What the biblical scholars are saying
That's what I'm saying,
is
dude.
they cannot find a manuscript by itself that's got that.
Okay.
But there's lots
Which?
of references
Okay,
to it
okay. One
from the
second.
church fathers.
All right. Which church father references the long ending of Mark? Just so I understand.
That's why I would have to go and research. I would have to find out the names of them. But
No, that's me.
It's there. It's common. It's common amongst them.
You think so?
Yeah, it's common.
It's common, but you don't know.
Sorry.
One second.
What was the original conversation anyway?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, it's like,
They were talking about something, and it's just when he said about John 17:3 being ambiguous, which you disagreed with,
Yeah.
and I disagreed with, and then I just wanted to correct him on that point. I wasn't getting involved. It wasn't.
Okay, so
It wasn't my conversation.
What are we looking for there?
Talking about today, Hamza.
I don't know. What are we looking for?
We're looking for church fathers that attested to the long ending of Mark.
Right. Okay.
All right. So Tatian then, is that a problem?
There you are. You've got Tatian to start with.
Yeah. From the 2nd century.
But the contention is that because
Yep.
some of them didn't have that exact manuscript,
Yep.
that the biblical scholars will not confirm
Okay.
they don't have the exact manuscript. Like I said, church fathers have referenced
Yeah.
lots of works,
Yeah.
and that's where we get a lot of our confirmation that
Sure.
certain manuscripts are correct.
Yeah, so,
and
and-
that Hamza said that I need to show.
No. I just wanted. Okay, understand something here. What did I say to you? I said I'm not here to tear anything down.
So there's a few
I'm
different ways
here to.
handle
I'm
this,
here to
actually.
understand. Yeah.
So just to confirm,
Okay.
Hamza's authority for religion are scholars,
So-
like critical scholars from the 20th century. This is to confirm.
This is what we're just talking about.
Okay, can I apply that same rationale to Islam? If I can, that'd be great to engage with, because scholars have many things to say about Islam, including recently we heard that Yasir Qadhi, who apparently is a expert in Hadith studies, says that nobody takes Hadith studies seriously in academia. So therefore, since no academic takes it seriously, is it okay for me to throw it away? Or you have other alternative scholars or authorities outside of 20th century manuscripts?
So David makes a good point there.
This is one confirmed. This one confirmed.
I mean,
Okay.
This one confirmed.
One second,
What's the
I said
standard?
no to the
What's
modern
the standard?
scholars.
Two things.
I said no to the modern scholars.
Two things,
didn't I?
two
And
things,
you
two
said
things.
that's wrong.
What's the standard?
Two things.
But do you take people like Yasser Qadhi, or do you say
Two
no
things.
to
Two
them?
things. Two things.